I stare at the ceiling long after midnight. The city hums outside, unaware that my life has shifted. $42 million sit in numbers I can't touch. I keep seeing my family's faces in flashes of memory. Evan with his charming grin that hides unpaid debts. Clara with her perfect nails and perfect judgment. My mother calm, detached, always saying, "You'll figure it out." They love me when I make things easy. When I lend, listen, clean up, agree. But now I wonder if love without struggle even exists. The thought burns like static in my chest. I pull out an old leather notebook from my drawer. The pages are empty, waiting for truth. I write on the first line, the 42 million test. The ink bleeds slightly. It feels final. Names follow, like an inventory of disappointments. Evan, Clara, Mom. Each one gets a line, a memory, a moment they turned away. When Evan borrowed rent money and never paid back. When Clara laughed at my second-hand coat at Christmas. When Mom told me responsibility builds character as I skipped dinner to pay bills. I used to think they were right. That needing help was weakness. But now I can see it clearly. They needed me weak so they could feel strong. They took pieces of me disguised as gratitude. And I kept giving, because love was supposed to mean sacrifice. The clock on the wall ticks louder. I write another line. No one knows. No one can know. If they find out, I'll lose whatever part of them still feels real. I scroll through old messages on my phone. Evan's latest text. Any chance you could spot me till Friday? Friday never came. Clara's photo of her new kitchen. Caption, finally living the life I deserve. Mom's group text about family brunch. No mention of me. The world I knew feels made of glass. One truth, and it could all shatter. I grab a pen again. Under their names, I start a list. How far will they go when they think I'm poor? The idea grows roots inside me. It's cruel, but it's fair. If I tell them I lost my job, who will help? If I ask for $500, who will care? If I ask for nothing, who will notice I'm gone? My hands tremble, but I keep writing. I'm not planning revenge. I'm gathering proof. Proof that love and loyalty are not the same thing. I close the notebook and exhale. The air smells like burnt coffee and old fear. My reflection in the window looks unfamiliar. Not broken. Not rich. Just awake. Tomorrow I'll call a lawyer. Tomorrow I'll begin the lie. The real test starts now. And for the first time, I'm not afraid to see who fails. The law office smells like paper and coffee. Helen Ward shakes my hand with a calm, practiced smile. She looks like someone who has seen every version of greed. I tell her I won the lottery, but want no one to know. Her pen pauses midair, then nods once. You'll need a blind trust, she says. Keep your name off every document. She explains taxes, security, fake addresses, new accounts. Her words sound like armor being built around me. Protection disguised as paperwork. She warns me about family. They will come for you, she says softly. Sometimes with tears, sometimes with guilt. I already know that truth too well. I sign where she points. The ink feels heavier than it should. When she finishes, I ask her about stories. Lottery winners who lost everything. Her eyes flicker with something like pity. One woman gave her brother a business loan. He bankrupted her in 6 months. Another story. A man's parents remortgaged their house in his name. He didn't even know. I nod slowly. Each word lands like a warning. Helen leans forward. If you must test them, do it safely. Don't tell anyone anything true. Her tone is clinical, but the meaning cuts deep. I leave the office with a folder of secrets. The city feels different now, quieter, sharper. Everyone I pass could be a future version of me. Rich, lonely, cautious. At home, I sit at my table with the notebook open. I draw 2 columns, help offered and excuses. The page is blank, waiting for answers. I rehearse my story in front of the mirror. The job I lost. The landlord raising rent. The bills piling up. The words taste bitter but believable. I adjust my voice, softer, more fragile. The version of me they expect to see. I send a few test messages. To Evan, do you know anyone hearing? Things are tight. To Clara, might need to borrow your car next week. To Mom, just wanted to talk, feels like a rough month. Then I wait. The replies arrive like clockwork. Evan, I'm in the middle of a deal. Call next week. Clara, I'd love to help, but the car seats are new. Mom, you'll be fine, honey, you always are. I stare at the screen until the words blur. No one asks if I'm okay. No one offers anything but distance. I take a photo of the messages and print them. Evidence for my test. The printer hums like a quiet judge. I file the papers behind the legal documents. My life now has folders for everything: truth, lies, and proof. Before bed, I light a candle and whisper the plan. Next week, I'll tell them I've been laid off. Next week, I'll ask for help. And when no one answers, I'll finally know. The lie isn't the test. The silence will be. The vineyard glows gold under the evening sun. My mother's laughter carries through the patio like champagne bubbles. Everyone looks perfect in linen and smiles. I keep my hands folded, my story rehearsed. Tonight, I tell them I've been laid off. It feels like handing them a mirror. Mom clinks her glass against Frank's. He talks about expanding the winery, a family dream come true. Evan scrolls on his phone, pretending to listen. Clara takes photos of her kids near the roses. When dinner is served, I clear my throat. I lost my job last week, I say quietly. The silverware pauses. Even the music seems to fade. I'm trying to find something new, but rent's due soon. It's been rough. Mom smiles the way people do at bad news. They don't want to touch. You'll land on your feet, Myra. You always do. Her tone is sweet and distant. Frank adds, we just invested everything in the vineyard. Timing's tough. Clara tilts her head. Maybe cut back on extras. You spend a lot on little things. I nod slowly, pretending to take the advice seriously. Evan finally looks up. This might be a good chance to partner with me. I'm starting something new, subscription supplements for pets. He grins like he's saving me. I ask softly, so you can't lend me $500 for rent? He blinks, his smile falters. I'm cash poor right now, but this business will explode soon. I want to laugh, but I don't. Instead, I reach for my notebook under the table. Each word they say writes itself inside my head. Excuses, justifications, deflections. No one asks if I've eaten. No one offers a couch, a ride, or comfort. The air feels colder with every sentence. When dessert arrives, I excuse myself to the bathroom. In the mirror, my reflection looks steady, almost serene. This is the proof I wanted. The test is already grading itself. Back at the table, Mom pours more wine. To family, she says. I lift my glass of water. To truth, I whisper unheard. After dinner, I walk alone to the parking lot. My car is still broken. The bus stop glows at the end of the road like a confession booth. I sit there under the buzzing light, notebook open on my lap. I write, everyone failed, except one. My phone buzzes. A call from Aunt Nora. Your mother told me what happened. Tell me what you need, dear. Her voice is warm, without judgment. Tears sting my eyes before I can answer. Nothing big, I whisper. She pauses. I'll send 2,000, and dinner next week is on me. The kindness feels heavier than any money. I hang up and stare at the stars above the vineyard. Family, it seems, isn't made by blood. It's proven by choice. I close the notebook. The first page of the real story begins tonight. Morning light spills across my table. The notebook lies open beside my laptop. Every lie, every silence carefully written down. The plan has taken shape. It's no longer about money. It's about clarity. I open a new document labeled Second Chance Foundation, a name born from exhaustion and hope. I will build something clean out of what was rotten. Helen helps finalize the paperwork for the blind trust. She doesn't ask questions about my reasons. That's why I trust her. The first donation goes out that afternoon. $5,000 to a women's shelter downtown. Anonymous, quiet, invisible. The act feels lighter than speaking. For once, my giving doesn't drain me. It rebuilds me. Later that night, I rehearse my next conversation. The one where I tell my family I found a new job. The lie will sound hopeful. Hope makes people drop their guard. In the mirror, I practice my smile. Not too wide, not too proud. I want them to believe I'm safe again. Because only then will they reveal who they really are. A week later, I send a group message. Dinner at my place, 7 o'clock. Mom replies first with a heart emoji. Evan sends thumbs up. Clara just says, sure if it's not too late. I cook simple pasta, nothing fancy. The apartment still looks modest. No one should suspect I have millions. When they arrive, they bring smiles and small talk. Mom hands me sandwiches, a gesture meant to look generous. Evan jokes about my tiny kitchen. Clara complains about parking. I breathe through the noise, calm and still. After dinner, I tell them the lie. I got a new job, better pay, things are looking up. Relief floods the room. They all smile like I just solved their problem, not mine. That's wonderful, honey, Mom says, already calculating something. Evan leans forward. So about my business idea, now's perfect timing. Clara adds, you could pitch in for the family trip. Equal shares, of course. Their excitement feels like static in my ears. I let them talk. Then I reach for my notebook. I've been keeping notes, I say quietly. Their laughter fades. I read a line aloud. Mom, when I asked for help, you said, we just can't right now. Her smile freezes. Clara shifts in her seat. Evan frowns. I turn another page. Clara, when I asked to borrow your car, you said the car seats might get dirty. The silence thickens. Evan mutters, you're keeping score, that's weird, Mira. No, I say, I'm keeping truth. The words hang heavy in the air. No one meets my eyes. The test is over. The results are final. And for the first time, I feel free. The next evening, the air feels heavier than usual. The conversation from last night still echoes in my head. They saw the notebook. They saw themselves through my eyes. And they hated the reflection. But the story isn't done yet. Tonight, my father is coming. He wasn't there yesterday, but he already called twice. He wants to talk sense into me. I know what that means. He'll defend them. He always does. When the doorbell rings, I count to 5 before answering. He steps inside with his usual confidence. Behind him, his wife, Serena, offers a polite smile. My mother lingers near the window, pretending to tidy up. The room fills with the scent of expensive cologne and discomfort. So, my father says, sitting without asking, I hear you've been acting dramatic again. I stay standing. He talks about responsibility, family unity, gratitude. Each word feels like a command. When I was younger, I used to shrink under that tone. Now, I simply open my notebook again. Do you remember when I called about my rent increase? I ask. He waves his hand. You always worry too much. You told me it would build character. I continue. And then you hung up. Silence folds around us. Serena clears her throat. That's not how he meant it. I look at her gently. It's exactly how he meant it. I flip another page. Evan promised to call me back about a loan. He never did. Clara said she couldn't help because she had new earrings to pay off. My father frowns. You're keeping records. That's unhealthy. I meet his eyes. What's unhealthy is pretending love and neglect are the same thing. Mom reaches out to touch my arm. Sweetheart, we never wanted to hurt you. I believe that, I say quietly. You never thought about hurting me because you never thought about me. The words hang like smoke in the air. For once, no one argues. No one corrects me. I see the truth ripple across their faces. They are not villains. Just comfortable in my giving, uncomfortable in my strength. I close the notebook and place it in the center of the table. This is the last time we talk about money, I say. I don't need help, and I don't offer loans. Mom starts to cry softly. Dad looks away. Evan fidgets with his phone. Clara whispers something to her husband. I stand. You should all go, I say gently. No anger. Just release. One by one, they file out of the apartment. The door closes behind them with a soft click. For the first time, the silence feels kind. I walk to the window and watch the streetlights glow. I no longer owe anyone anything. Not apologies. Not explanations. Not pieces of myself. The test is over. And I am finally the one grading the results. 6 months later, the morning light paints my office in gold. The sign on the door reads, Second Chance Foundation. It still feels unreal to see my name beneath it. Not as an assistant, but as a founder. The walls are calm shades of gray. The shelves hold files, not debts. My desk is covered with grant applications, not overdue bills. I sign each paper with quiet certainty. Every stroke of ink feels like reclamation. I no longer ask for permission to exist. Outside my window, the city hums like a living heartbeat. Charlotte, my new director, knocks and smiles. Your 10 o'clock is here, she says. Her confidence reminds me of who I used to be. We help women rebuild after losing everything. We give them what I once begged for: dignity. I glance at the photo on my desk. Nora and me, arms around an elderly woman named June. June opened a bookstore again at 73. Her joy is proof that new beginnings are real. After the meeting, I sort through the mail. Bills, letters, and a pastel envelope with familiar handwriting. Clara's invitation to her twins' birthday party. I trace the gold print with my thumb. No resentment rises, only quiet understanding. I write a note, regretfully unable to attend, wishing joy. Then I log into the foundation account. $10,000 transferred to each child's education fund. No one will know it came from me. Kindness doesn't need witnesses. That night, Nora and I meet for dinner by the river. She wears her favorite beige cardigan. I tell her everything: the ticket, the trust, the test. She listens without interrupting, buttering her bread slowly. When I finish, she smiles. Money doesn't change people, she says. It just shows you who they already were. Her words settle like truth I'd been chasing for years. 2 days later, we stand in front of her new cottage. A small white house with blue shutters and wildflowers out front. I hand her the pen for the final signature. It's yours now, I tell her. Tears shimmer in her eyes, soft and real. Inside, there are travel brochures on the coffee table. Italy, Scotland, New Zealand, places we once only dreamed about. She laughs, holding one up. Maybe next year. I smile. Next year sounds perfect. In her backyard, a patch of soil waits freshly tilled. She hands me gardening gloves. Let's plant something new, she says. We kneel together, pressing seeds into dark earth. The air smells like beginnings. My hands sink into the soil, cool and forgiving. This time, I'm not burying pain. I'm planting gratitude. The sun warms my shoulders as I whisper a silent promise. No more tests. No more proving worth. just growing what's real. The wind carries the scent of blossoms. I look at Nora and smile. The test is over. The life I wanted has already begun. The garden hums with quiet life. Morning dew clings to the leaves like tiny mirrors. Nora hums softly beside me, trimming the roses. The cottage smells of coffee and soil. I open my old leather notebook one last time. The title page once read, The 42 Million Test. Now it says, Gratitude Notes. Each page holds moments instead of wounds. Laughter instead of silence. Names of people who stayed, not those who left. I close it gently and set it on the windowsill. The past feels smaller now, almost kind. My phone vibrates with another message from my family. I read it without anger, then let it fade. Some stories end not with forgiveness, but with peace. I glance at the garden outside. The first sprouts push through the soil. Tiny, fragile, but alive. Nora looks up and smiles. Everything grows when it's finally free, she says. I nod, feeling the truth in the air. The wind moves through the leaves like a quiet applause. The test is gone. Only life remains. And this time it's mine.